Hello, everyone. It's Jeanette, and I am on my way to my 40th class reunion high school tour of Peoria High School, also known as Central High School, the Lions. And I'm from the class of '86. It is very hard to believe that it has been 40 years already. I don't know where the time went. Holy cow. So, on my drive, I just thought I would talk about some memories. I thought high school was a really fun time. Some people talk about high school and say that they hated it, they would never want to go back. But I'm the opposite. I would go back for a while. Don't get me wrong, there were some parts of it that I'd rather skip, like PE class, for example. We had swimming at Central High School, and I didn't know how to swim. So, freshman year, you're trying to make a good impression, and we had to all wear these black one piece, hideous bathing suits with white swim caps. Talk about unattractive. But the boys had it worse because they had to wear these black Speedos. Even more embarrassing. So, yeah, I was in the beginner's swimming class, couldn't swim. There was a senior named Pete who was on the football team that helped coach Ron Sell, and he was doing the beginners class that I was in. We had to use these little flotation devices and kick our feet and swim the length of the pool. Well, at the end of the semester, we had to jump off the diving board. That was like our final test. And either on the same day or the week of, I believe it was the same day, before I had to take my turn, one of the girls in the class started to drown. She was flailing around in the water and wasn't coming to the surface. Mind you, this well that we had to jump into was like 14 feet deep. It was terrifying. So the coach jumped in, clothes and all, threw his clipboard down on the ground, jumped in, clothes and all, and pulled this girl out. So I was thinking that my fate was sealed and I would be next. I was going to die. I got up on the diving board. It was like slow motion. I looked down from that high vantage point. All of my classmates were staring at me. It seemed like everything was moving in slow motion. Time stood still. And I froze. I couldn't jump. They wouldn't let me hold my nose, first of all. I knew water was going to get up my nose, so I just didn't want to jump. So Pete got up on the diving board behind me and wouldn't let me get back down, so I had no choice. Finally, I jumped and I surfaced. Everything was okay. I lived to see another day of high school. And let's see, freshman year, if swimming wasn't bad enough, I had speech class. Terrified of getting in front of people to talk. I remember I gave a speech on how to make cookies, and then I handed out cookies at the end of my speech. I figured that would give me brownie points, or I should say cookie points, with my classmates. I had a lot of good friends in high school. I hung around Tammy Frericks, Teresa McClure, Nancy Sitt, Susan Wan, Heather Gett, Julie Tyler. Who else? Who else? Diana Gunderson was a sweetie. Sheila Klingon was a sweetie. I didn't hang around some of these people in high school, but they knew who I was. I knew who they were. We were more like acquaintances. Lena Calabrese, I hung around her a little bit. Spent the night at Missy Cunningham's house. Tammy and I hung around Carol Freer a lot. We were all Duran Duran fanatics. Carol was a year older than we were, and I remember staying over at her house, and she had a laser disc player, and we watched American Gigolo with Richard Gere. And I believe it had some full frontal nudity in that movie. So yeah, we were giggling like the schoolgirls that we were. I lived on Hansler Place, And it was such a cool street because it had a boulevard in the middle dividing the two streets, going down one way and going back up the other way. And the middle of the boulevard had old fashioned lamp post. So it was kind of like something you would see out of a 40s movie. It was very quaint, good neighborhood. We had a little Dairy Queen about a block away, which my grandparents owned, and I ended up working there when I was 14 years old. That was my first job, not counting my newspaper route at age 11. So around 1985, when I worked at the Dairy Queen, that's the year the Blizzard came out, the ice cream treat. And when we had to serve it to a customer, we had to flip the cups upside down to show that the ice cream was real thick and would not fall out of the cup. And then my parents got the Dairy Queen at Westlake. Westlake was the shopping center where a lot of my classmates and I would hang out on the weekends because they had an arcade called Bally's. And then they had the movie theater, and I believe it was Monocle's Pizza. And then the Dairy Queen sat right on the corner. And I worked there when my parents had that DQ. And we had some long lines after the movies, let me tell you. I used to have nightmares about making blizzards, like I was chained to the blizzard machine. But it was nice to have a job in high school so I could have gas money for my 1973 Pontiac Ventura that my dad had custom painted for me at Billboard's Auto Body. And it had a souped up motor in it since my dad was a gearhead. That was my first car. I had some cool, Krager wheels. I actually had blue lights underneath my car that I could light up. And there was like this little place. I had air shocks on the back. So there was this little place on my back bumper that had a nozzle. And I could stop at the gas station and pump up the back of my car so it would sit like this. And that was all for the purpose of cruising Main Street. Yes, my classmates and I, that was our pastime. We would cruise Main Street. And it was a lot of fun. You would creep along at about 20 miles per hour, see who's who, who's up here, who's talking to who. It was a way to meet boys, check out cool cars. It was the summer. The windows were down. The 80s music was blaring. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, uh, Queen. I remember all kinds of good music back then. Ozzy Osbourne. So sadly, that got shut down by the police after businesses started complaining that customers could not get into their stores, which I kind of understand because the road was so packed that it would take you, a half an hour to 45 minutes, maybe just to go a couple miles down Main Street. That's how slow it was. There would be people walking up and down the sidewalks, lighting off fireworks. One guy was carrying a snake around his neck. Kind of had like a circus like atmosphere. But we had other pastimes too. We had a place called Stage 2 Dance Club. That was the hot spot for the teens, an underage teen dance club. And at first it was over by Landmark Recreation Center. And then it changed and was later located out on Willow Knolls. But I went there quite often on the weekends to meet boys and dance to 80s music. It was a lot of fun. I would go there with my friends, Teresa McClure. We went there one night and we drank some peach schnapps beforehand. I don't know where we got that at since we were underage, of course. Didn't drink a lot in high school or party a lot in high school. I did go to one party at Susan Wan's house. And that was fun. What are some other memories? We had a senior gyp day where we were supposed to just walk out at a certain time. I do believe I participated in that. Lunchtime, Tammy and I would often walk to Burger King. We only had, 20 minutes, I think, so we had to hurry pretty fast. There was a little store on the corner across from the high school called Kidder's, and I think they had candy and hot dogs and things like that for sale. I'm not really sure because I never went there. I think I was like a little too timid to go over there because I heard there were a lot of fights over there and maybe even a stabbing. Don't know if that's just folklore or what, but yeah. So, um, other than that, I would be inside the cafeteria, and my eating habits were not good because I always got a honey bun and chocolate milk. Not always, but a lot. They had like a little, in addition to the line that you would walk through to get your lunch, they had a little snack shack over to the left side, and that's where you could get, all of your junk food. And I guess I was a junk food junkie. So the 80s music, it was the best. I was more of like a new wave 80s person. I loved, well, except for 1985. That was the year that I listened to pretty much nothing else other than Rat and Motley Crue, and went to see Motley Crue in concert at the Peoria Civic Center. But my very first concert in high school was in 19, I believe, 83, when I was a freshman. Is that right? 82, 83. That was Ozzy Osbourne. And my neighbor, Kenny Baker, took me. He was a senior when I was a freshman, and he drove a Pacer. Talk about a dorky car. It looks like a little bubble, round bubble. And yeah, so he took me to the Ozzy concert. Okay, I am pulling up on North Street, which is where the high school is located. We're supposed to meet out front. I think we can park in front of the high school, but I also see a parking lot across the street. I could have parked right over there. Peoria High School is a beautiful building, so I am looking forward to hearing about the history. And I think I'm just going to pull into a driveway and turn around so I can park here. I'm sure that a lot has changed in 40 years. When we went to high school here, there wasn't like a lot of trouble. Yes, I saw a few fights in school, but now I've heard that they have to walk through metal detectors when they go into school. So little different times. Also, freshman year, it was really exciting because our basketball team went to state. We had a really good basketball team, and I rode on the bus with my friend Tammy to go to Champaign Urbana for the big game. We got beat, I believe, by Springfield Lamphere, I want to say, but it was still a good time. More stories to come after the tour. All right, here we are at Peoria High School, the pride of the city. Here's something that was given by the class of 1998, way after our class. But here are the steps that my class, the class of 86, stood on when we graduated. The whole class stood here for a group photo. And I just will never forget the feeling, how good it felt knowing that I was done with high school. It was an exciting time. And there's Cowboy pulling up on his motorcycle. Classmate of mine. He got the nickname Cowboy because he always wore cowboy boots to school. Let's go to the main entrance where we're going to meet everyone. And we'll check out these lion sculptures on the way up. Those are cool. They look really old because of the cracks, the crackling. See? Peoria High School, the pride of the city. Now, when I was in high school, we did not have any AC. And let me tell you, in August when school started, it was hot, especially the higher up on the third floor. Hot. I remember walks home from high school. I did not take the bus because I lived too close, but the buses would pull up right out here in front. And I would walk down that street, North Street. It seemed like a very long walk, maybe a mile to my house. And here is the front entrance. Pretty extravagant. You look like you're going into a museum. Fancy light posts, all the banners, the columns, the architecture. I don't know what style this is. Now there's a sticker on the front door that says no guns. I'm sure we did not have any of that when I was in school. Not necessary at that time. I see some classmates walking up, which is good because I want to make sure that I'm in the right place.
Oh, right. That's what I was like. We could have stayed and opened windows, but we are on a well, so we needed water to shower.
Our tour guide.
Made our shirts.
Really?
The ones that we write. We were almost going to do that instead of this.
Oh,
I think you can still order them somewhere.
really? Oh, I would.
Uh-oh, glasses.
I was a 200 and 400 man. Okay.
Here we go.
Jeanette?
Hey.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
Good. Really? I don't know if that's bad or good.
Oh, that's good.
Committee of 40 always got their picture right here. Hello. The Gettysburg Address.
All that shooting.
Okay, call me. It's time.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Does anybody else need a restroom?
Oh, I need that.
There's a women's restroom around that corner.
I guess it depends on how long the tour is. How long is the tour? How long is the tour?
Probably about an hour.
Okay, hear that deafening silence? This hall's carrier all over the place. And so Tracy Regal and I'm Bill Robertson. I was a little bit ahead of you at Peoria High, and we're having flashbacks to the principal. Yeah, that was my dad. So anyway, when we were talking, I think it's going to be okay. But when we stop, if we could just take it down. And then the other thing is we don't like herding cats, so just don't go wandering off somewhere. We don't want to have to go look you up somewhere and lose you in here in the building. So anyway, we know if you still know your way around, if you're going to try your locker combo, some people do that, and some of the signs still open because they rotate them every 5 years. You can't hit it on the right time for you. But anyway, if you guys just while we're walking, you want to talk, when we stop and raise our hand and go, hey, everybody just kind of be quiet. We'll start talking about different things in the school. It has changed a lot since we've all been here.
Yeah.
And it keeps growing, keeps getting bigger, more stuff. But some of the great stuff that's still in here is the history. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in there when we get done. Come around and I'll tell you a little bit about the association. How many of you get the newsletter? A few of you? Okay. Well, maybe we'll try to get a few more to sign up. It's free, so you can do that.
So
Tracy?
as Bill said, I'm Tracy Riebel. I'm class of '87, so I was probably here when most of you were here. I think I recognize a few faces from Woodrow Wilson. Yep. Okay. I also teach here, so I'm working on year 30 next year. Mr. Pio and I have classrooms right down from each other. So
Mr. Pio, no way.
I know. I did get, we are on summer break, so the custodians did let us know the third floor is off limits. They're waxing the floors up there. And the science wing is actually no longer the science wing, it's actually Freshman Academy, but that's under construction. It's also under construction, so we can kind of just go into the foyer. And then I will show you the new weight room, but it did flood. I don't know if you're all from in town, Peoria got hit with storms really bad. So he said it's been clean, but it may smell a little bit. All right, so we're gonna kind of do a second floor loop, then go downstairs, do a first floor loop, and then we'll come back up, and then you can kind of take pictures and meander and ask questions.
Is there still the fourth floor music room?
Yes, there is. All right, so we're just gonna kind of do the front hall, back hall, down, just kind of do a circle. All right, so I'm gonna start kind of right here. These are all the principal's pictures. Okay, so here's my first spiel. These are all portraits of the principals. It does not cover all the principals. This starts with the first principal of this building. So little trivia. Did anybody in here go to ISU? Nobody? Okay. Do you happen to know what connection ISU's founder has with Peoria High?
No.
Who's the founder, one of the founders of ISU? You remember? You know the name Charles Hovey? Charles Hovey was the first principal of Peoria High School. Back before it was actually Peoria High School, when it was just the school.
Mm-hmm.
He left after a year in the first building and actually went and founded ISU to help create better teachers in the state of Illinois. Because he believed that all children have the right for the best education possible. So that's kind of a cool thing. On this wall, there are 3 principals who were graduates of Peoria High School. Anybody want to guess who those 3 might be?
Simmons.
I was gonna say Randy Simmons.
Nope. It was Manuel.
Oh, he was Manuel.
Right here.
Corky.
The last one for sure.
Annette.
Yeah.
And then the very first one is A.W. Beasley. He was also one of the first graduates. So we actually have 3 alumni who have come back.
So that's ours on the second from the last.
Right.
I wish the names were bigger.
Well, and actually, the most recent principals are actually Sean McGinnis, who's a Woodruff grad. So you have that. Some things that have changed here. The nurse's office is still there.
The treasurer used to be over
He
there.
hired me, so he came in '88. He was still principal when I came back in '97. So at least 10
Main
years.
office.
Yeah, he
This
gave me
is where the deans were.
right. We no longer have deans.
What?
The children are so good, we don't need these.
Right, right.
Actually, we now run a structure where we have assistant principals. So we have a principal, and then we have 4 assistant principals.
Oh, wow.
Each assistant principal is in charge of a grade level. And their offices are throughout the building, so that if Martin gets kicked out of class, there happens to be an assistant principal right next door to his class.
How often does that happen? A lot?
I get kicked out of class?
Yeah, how often?
I kick myself out of class quite a bit. But the kids won't stop.
I'm up. So, this is actually now the treasurer's office,
Which used to be there.
which used to be there, and then those are copy rooms. So we have copy rooms on each floor. I want to quickly just stop here at the corner, and Mr. Robertson's going to talk here shortly, but I want to show off some of our kids. These are this year's graduates. So, and through the generosity of the Alumni Association, where's the group one? Is it this one? Yes. So, for example, the Earl and Lovey Beard Scholarship, which was founded by Earl and Lovey Beard, who are alumni. We had this whole group of students, each won over $16,000 in a scholarship.
Wow.
So this is part of the work that he's going to talk about, that our alumni, through their generosity, we are able to help some kids who really need a hand up getting off to college. And we include trades scholarships as well now.
Okay.
So that includes ICC, but a lot of our students are
Still studying the SAT.
actually give the ACT now, but yes, that's junior year. Testing never stops. It's part of politics.
How long did you know it's on this one?
So am I.
I know, right below.
Yeah. All right, let's head back and we'll head toward the auditorium and we'll pop in and let him give a spiel.
Does this still go to the library?
It does, then we're gonna come around. And then we'll go down the stairs that
Yeah, we already know they cut one section off one
there's
straight
the
down.
stairs, yeah.
And it goes down into the foyer.
You will notice a lot of plaques as you walk by that are military. So we still have a lot of plaques that honor soldiers who have fought in, I think we've got somebody in every single war, haven't we? Going back to Spanish, American, Vietnam, Korea, World War, Civil War. And that's one of the things Hubby did as one of the first principals. He took a group of students that very first year he was principal, and they served in Civil War together.
Wow. Well, not well behaved.
I don't know if I could get my students on right now. Okay, many of you have noticed the valedictorian salutatorian wall. You will notice it ends because we no longer have valedictorians, salutatorians. We've done away with the class rank system. We do a cum laude system now. So that's why there is no number one, number two anymore.
Put it on your mouth. This year I'm going to watch.
Where they go?
Yeah, okay, bye.
Good morning. The auditorium.
A lot of kids are working and they're just in the structure.
Cool.
Actually, they don't. They're in the room. They don't get carried. So he's going to talk a little bit about alumni. When we get done, we're going to circle around. One of the things you might check out are these pictures. I didn't know this. Originally, when the auditorium was built, there were no walls here. It was an open courtyard system. So if you look, you can see the windows on the side. So the closed-in hallways and lockers didn't exist when the school was first built. So this is the second renovation. You guys missed one. I don't know what it looked like the last time you guys had a reunion. It was pink for a while.
Yeah.
So Bill Robertson, or not Bill Robertson, Dick Green had it redone when he was here, and everything was kind of in shades of mauve to accentuate the woodwork. It was just repainted last summer, and and they kind of went all black. Personally, I'm not a fan, but.
So is your school colors maroon and white or maroon and white?
Black and white.
Red, black, white, silver.
So
Now you will also see pink. A lot of the girls prefer pink instead of maroon.
The auditorium was actually going to be put back to the original colors of 1916, 1917, and they actually had the architectural drawings for all that, and they actually restored it. The Alumni Association pitched in and got alumni to donate money and restored it and restored the seats and everything else. Well, as you can imagine, over 10, 15, 20 years, the kids are awful rough on the stuff, if you will. And so, as Tracy said, they had a big meeting this last summer. So I don't know how I got willed into this job of being president of the Alumni Association, but here I am. I feel like I've grown up in the school. I know when my father coached here in the late 50s and the 60s and then became principal. I spent a lot of time running around these hallways about this big, you know, and you talk about waxing the floors, rode a bicycle in the hallway. What the Alumni Association does, I'll just kind of jump straight to it, is we give out scholarships, yes, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a network where we keep the classes connected and try to bring, I'm working on a business list. I haven't got there yet. I believe it was in Evansville. It was 1855, but it closed. So we're the oldest now. And anyway, so let me get back to scholarships. So you saw the pictures over there on the wall, and we have some pretty good alumni that endowed a few of those scholarships. And we're able to give scholarships to the kids that are going off to college or off to want to do the trades. We're trying to emphasize the trades a little bit more with all the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math around. And this AI boom requires a ton of STEM type trained people. You don't have to be an aeronautical engineer, some kind of technical engineer to be qualify. You could be a plumber, you could be an HVAC guy, electrician. We need them so bad. So we're starting to emphasize, hey, if you want to endow, you can, if you have that kind of resources.
But you got a beautiful baby grand.
What's that?
But the organ may be gone, but there's a beautiful baby grand.
Yeah, they still got the stuff, but they got with the organ. There was a guy that went to school here back in the 30s. His name was Harold Ronk, and Harold graduated and went into kind of film and some other things, but he ended up, believe it or not, how many have ever been to the Barnum Bay Circus in their lifetime? Anybody ever been to it? Yeah, and Harold Ronk was for 30 years he was the ringmaster of Barnum Bailey Circus. You can actually Google him and find some of his. He had a hell of a voice. He'd find him singing and all this stuff, but he would sing during the circus and all that stuff. But one of the comments I saw in one of the yearbooks, I kind of collect those things up, and one of the things I saw in there was must have been a ladies' yearbook because it was, you know, it wasn't Harold. It just said, you know, loved playing the organ. I guess he sat up there and played it all the time. So the guy had music genius from way back when. But the stories just abound. I could go on and on, especially about the military side. Since I was in the military 41 and a half years.
What branch?
Air Force. Yeah, I flew for 34 of them. And they promoted me out of the cockpit. I couldn't get back in. So anyway, some of the people that there's a couple articles out there right now on the website that Memorial Day, I'm about ready to take them down. On Kirk Riley, you saw his little plaque out there. He was a swimmer for Peoria High, a really good one. And he lost his life in Laos and Vietnam. There's a bunch of other people up there that probably were this close to getting the Medal of Honor and didn't get it. We had the Chief of the Joint Chiefs, John Solakashvili. We had some World War II vets, a lot of World War II vets fought in the Battle of the Bulge. We had one guy whose remains were just recently found 2 years ago. He crashed in a P-38 off of Italy. And there was a company downtown called Singer. Does anybody remember that? I believe this was a relative or in the family, but he had aircraft problems and he circled down, hit the water. Apparently he died on impact in the water. Nobody ever saw him again. Nobody ever found his plane again until like 2 years ago. They found it off the coast of Italy and they're going after a Nazi airfield there in Italy. So the history is just tremendous, and we're all part of that.
So you plan to have this poster, or we can have that way.
Some things never change.
Kids.
Thank you for your service. And he's at a Marine Corps League golf outing right now.
What'd you fly?
F-16s, C-130s, and A-37.
Oh, C-130s. Oh, okay.
It was the
Yeah, this one's
B-52,
for our time.
When I was over in Iraq. I was a 50, 130, 134. 06, 07. I know.
Something happened between the freshman and sophomore year because after that,
Oh, yeah. It was
Keep track.
you were in Iraq?
So one of the things you'll notice the stone desk is still here. It's not quite as big a thing as when we were here. I know Courtney, if you saw you sitting on that thing. Whoa, all sorts of trouble. It doesn't seem to be the thing it was worth. You do still have the Parthenon, which came over from the previous. This is the fourth building that has been Peoria High. This came over from the previous. You've also noticed this. I don't know if anybody who's been in a school lately, you know the joy of security. So it's just part of the new way of life in schools. So students cannot get into the building. This is where visitors come in and then they are buzzed into the office. They have to show an ID. They're scanned, and then whoever they're visiting comes against them. So no one's allowed to just wander the building, right? Come on down, you will notice that he was mentioning some of those names. So here's our military, and then these are pretty much most of the awards that are given Honors Day. It looks like some of them haven't quite gotten back in yet. But there's plaques, and then as students are added every year. Yep, so she was the treasurer. So when she passed, her daughter created an award that is given in her name. Yes.
They used to have pictures up here from all the people from the who were in the class from previously. Some of them, the older in Civil War, they used to have some of their pictures up here. Do you know what happened with those?
I don't think we have Civil War. We have World War. Don't remember Civil War pictures. I'd have to look into that one. I don't remember that one. What kids did was there were ethnic groups. So there was a German school, and there was a Swedish school, and there was a Irish school. So usually the church that supported that community had a school.
Spalding.
That was the predates, none of those existed yet. So they were just little community, and basically you went to the church, they taught you to read and write. Once you learned how to read and write, there was no more school. So they formed a school in 1856. It wasn't even Peoria High yet, it was just the school. He taught, hubby was the first principal, and you'd be surprised for a principal, he was only 18.
What?
Because there was no college then. It just, if you got out of school and you could read or write, you could teach. So, and that was part of his belief that people needed to be better trained to be teachers. That we shouldn't just take anybody and let them teach. So he went and founded ISU. But it does include pictures of the various buildings. One was on Monroe and Fayette. And I don't remember where the other one is, 5 or 5 minutes. But this is the fourth one. A full medical center. So throughout the day, those of you that did the old, I have a cold, I can't get in class, you go get treated. And then you go back to class. So those of you that said, Mom, I don't feel good, come get me. No. Mom can sign up. You can go here, get medical, basic medical. There's a nurse in there all the time. They can do some basic testing. They can check for blood sugar issues, colds, pregnancy care. Everything is handled right here. Counseling is still here.
That was way back then.
Nice. Yeah.
On the other school.
Good one.
And as Bill mentioned, that's the donor wall when we did the previous remodel of the auditorium. Right? So you will notice as we come around the corner, study halls no longer exist. So
No study hall.
So you
Wow.
will notice this is actually the book room. This is the back, but I did want to point out we have a feature, some of you might have been jealous of. We have a teacher back here, Dr. Hanson, who we now get our announcements done on video. We have a full morning news crew. She edits, she does production, it's full crew, you know, every day. So, and we have kids from special ed kids to advanced kids. One of our special ed kids does Tuesdays with Tuesday. He tells a joke every Tuesday. That's part of his contribution. So kids are learning how to edit and produce digital and learning a life skill as part of the class.
This brings back memories of walking down this hallway for sure. Kind of like excitement, anxiety, getting to class on time between the bells, couldn't wait for lunch, getting to your locker on time. The inside of a classroom there. Can't go up on the third floor today. It's under construction, and that's where my locker was. Okay, I think this was my German class right there.
Now, when you get up here and you start going downstairs, you take the stairway out. And not to the back of the board.
I have it still.
Mr. Lambert, is he upstairs?
Mr. Who? Lambert? The library.
Now they added the damn wall here, going to the foyer. What was that trophy case? Oh, Bill, I had my trophy case.
It's over here. All right, so this is the distinguished alumni wall that he mentioned. We also have, we ran out of room on the wall, so the most recent inductees are over there. You guys may have remembered, he wasn't in your class, but Steve Osinsami was class of '88. He is actually a national news for ABC out of Atlanta. He was inducted last year. A lot of people are up here that you may have heard of. Some you may not know, but you should know. So for example, Annie Malone. Anybody know who Annie Malone is? Anybody know who Madam C.J. Walker is? Yeah. Annie Malone, they are finding, she had chemistry. Madam C.J. Walker did not. Annie Malone worked for Madam C.J. Walker, and they believe Annie Malone's chemistry is what founded hair care products for people of color. Annie Malone was one of the first African-American millionaires in the United States, and she attended Peoria High, and she got her chemistry here at Peoria High.
I mean, I knew that story, but I
For
didn't know
sure.
she was as simple.
So we have,
Stephen Orr was not her teacher.
so we do have some individuals up here locally you may know. I shared the Earl and Lovey Beard. Mr. Beard is up here. He's the one that left that scholarship. Corky and his son, Mr. Robertson, are up here. I believe Coach Lawless is up
Yeah,
here.
he's down there in the corner.
I believe, and sorry, we may not want to get too close. They throw the garbage here at lunch and it sometimes splashes. The John Rice, I believe, is the gentleman that helped draw for The Simpsons. So, you know, they say The Simpsons, the front of the Simpsons school looks like Peoria High. That's why. So I'll let you take a couple minutes and check that out before I'll move out of the way and let you get in there and take
Is
a
this
look.
Katie's stand?
That's
It says there's three of them there. Okay, but I thought this was just one.
That's a year older than us.
He's
She
not
was
up
on the
there.
speech team.
I'm not up there with you.
Yeah.
You guys watch,
Oh, Philip Jose Farmer. He's an author.
That's probably not. Yeah, but that corner is right Let's check out the new
Not on your tree.
Wow, what a cool door.
And we worked together. We were co-teachers for a couple of years.
Hi, Mr. Pyle.
I have.
A new gym. Wow. Nice.
And you may see the silhouette of the city is on the floor.
That's cool.
So our art department and our art students helped design the floor. Last summer.
Remember coming through those doors?
So the wood bleachers are gone, but
Yes.
Now they do it at Bradford.
the national trail now.
Square dancing upstairs.
Oh, God. I hated square dancing. Square dancing, that brings back traumatic memories. Wow, those bleachers are cool. Pretty cool.
real cool how they got those, the signs
State
over there
championships.
with the boys
Yes.
basketball, and then they got it over there for football.
That's cool.
In the corner.
Love it. Looks good. Lots of decor.
But if you had to go over a swim and deal with Mr. Sell,
Coach Sell, he was a tough guy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he was one of the toughest that we ever had to deal with.
Mm-hmm. What about Mr. Lavery?
Oh yeah,
He was-
my driving teacher.
Me too.
Yeah.
He was tough.
He was my football coach.
Mm.
I had to deal with him a whole lot.
Yeah. That's a good idea for a picture.
One with the Peoria High.
Yeah. I hope they let us roam around and get some more pictures. That's a good idea for a picture.
Is right here with the trophies. They're now in this large wall behind you. And then as we come this way, you guys here for practices?
And there's more in store.
That's where they sold candy. The committee of the whole sold candy.
Now that I like that.
Something the Alumni Association also helped to create. And we induct players, coaches, teams every year. And you probably know more of the specifics. They have to be out, 10 years?
10 years, you gotta be out of high school.
So people nominate, you can nominate classmates I know my brother-in-law plays football. His team is on here. We go back. So someone noticed the very first state champion basketball team. There was a little secret about that team. We actually had one player, so you can imagine in 1904 what life was like. And especially for people of color in 1904, one of those players is actually African American. He was passing to be able to play and didn't really reveal his ethnicity till later. So while he was in high school, he actually was light-skinned enough he was passing. And I don't remember, do you remember which one, Bill, who it is?
One on the ball.
Yeah, it's Lynch Conway, and he was actually the team captain, so.
But you may notice local guys on here. Mr. Coach Bisher's up there,
Where's Chuck at?
top corner.
Salsa's over there.
Salzer's up there, Lavery's up there.
Genji.
Lawless is up
Genji.
there.
Oh no. 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 Don't want to see him.
And if you start looking at some of the names like Jameson, Hinton, the Hinton family that went on to form Moleskin, that's that family. Weiersdorf was just inducted this year. That's why he's in color.
Paul Myersdorf?
Yeah.
He's in color.
I was just talking to Mark.
He was my son's scout leader.
His son actually married and is in Israel. He lives in Israel with his wife and children. Yeah.
It's a libel.
Yeah.
Here, which one of the keys you want? I still carry it around.
Here, this will make me flash.
You wanna get his brother? You wanna get my dad's brother?
Oh, that's his brother. Okay. Wow. Cool stuff.
I think my key.
She doesn't write this.
Ooh.
You were here then?
I don't know why. Sidewalk right here. And this was the science wing wall. And this was the parking lot. So this was the 3 handicap. If you had Miss Moriarty, she would run your ass over to get that parking. Yeah. But this was the exterior wall, and then there was a walkway that went out.
Oh.
So this is now the
It's all
atrium.
new.
And this wall over here, this is now the science wing. So you will notice they do have a lot of the records up still. And sports have changed. We now have a fishing team. We also have a girls flag football.
Wow.
We also have an esports.
Yep.
So you can play games?
Yep.
Well, that times have changed.
All right.
Sure have. Freshman phone pickup. Huh. Definitely, we didn't have that. This is used to be how you got to the science wing, right there, all the way down to the end of the hallway and to the left or to the right. That's where my class was.
Okay, one other change before we hit a couple more rooms. You will notice this. Students eat lunch here.
I'm hungry now.
So this is kind of second cafeteria. Kids go through this line and then you will notice the tables. So at lunchtime, this room is full of tables. It's still there. But remember, we were of the generation, we got to go off campus for lunch. There is no such thing. And
No
you
more
have
kidders.
1,300 students. Oh, I got to go off campus.
No more Burger King.
Yeah, I remember going off campus. We used to go to Burger King.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was
But
Kidders?
I think it was one of the things
I never went there.
when,
I didn't either. I was too
sixth
scared.
grade came in, students were not coming back. They were being tardy. And again, we just live in a time where
Time is of the
taking kids off campus. Even I've been a sponsor for yearbook, newspaper, pom-poms. I'm really hesitant to haul kids just because we live in a time when if I would get in a car accident with a kid in the car, you just are in different times. So again, students can come in that door and get checked in the morning as well. So we're going to go hit front. I'm going to show you a $10 million addition to the building. We'll go down the front hall. I'll show you in school because I know some of you need to be in school. And then we'll come around. We have a new $1 million weight room, a new gym, and we'll stick our head into the cafeteria.
So I saw a fight like right inside these doors. Two girls got into it and they were pulling hair. There were barrettes flying. Okay, walking down this hallway right here, I remember a girl pushed me into the lockers because I broke up with this guy and she was a friend of his and he told her to harass me.
So we have
Can't really see in there very well, classroom. I just remember it being very hot in August. A manhole. Remember how hot it was here in August when we started school? Oh, especially on the third floor. Do you remember where your locker was?
It was on that hallway and on the right hand side. But I'm like, I don't remember.
The old cafeteria. Always looked forward to lunch.
There's two study stations. This side does more of the sandwiches. They can do the same district too.
So they can go to
They
the.
go
Wow. That brings back memories for sure.
When we were here, this is where the
Their bar was.
this was on the
I
side.
remember this now.
Oh yeah, the snack bar.
I got intimidated by going through the food line, so I only got from the snack bar because I didn't know how to order.
I always got a honey bun and a chocolate milk from the
I
snack
had
bar.
honey bun and yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The worst.
I know.
Yeah. And then I went to college and I have a Mountain Dew and Fritos.
And when I was in college, I had pink lemonade and Snickers.
So, your tour is 5 years.
Yes.
all right, children. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Doesn't work for you guys either. So you may know Jahan Gordon Booth.
Yes.
She helped write a grant to produce this building. This is a full recording studio. There are only 2 in Illinois, 1 in Chicago, 1 here. It is outfitted to be a full audio recording studio. So if you were a potential musician, rapper, singer, you are actually working with a teacher, you are writing music, and then you can come in here and create your music. So if you want to
Isn't
stick your
that where
head
the
in.
nurse used to be?
Nurse is up 2nd floor. This was actually drama and speech.
Wasn't there some special needs?
Probably there was an ortho.
This is where my husband would have been hanging out. He's a musician. Nice. We didn't have this. I'm jealous. No fair. No fair.
You'd be in on this, wouldn't you?
Yeah, my husband would have for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
That'd be definitely wow. This is the real deal. Oh, it's nice.
Very nice.
Oh, wow.
Wonder if they rent this out.
Like, Hustle and Flow.
American Idol.
American Idol.
American Idol.
Was it America's Got Talent?
No, Idol. Idol.
He went
He was good.
He was good.
My mom and I watched that every year, and we really liked him.
Yeah.
Teachers send work, and that's what you do.
See, our detentions were up in the study hall.
Yeah. So we don't have as many children needing detention.
I didn't know what to detention.
Detention room.
Ever. As a matter of fact, you remember we asked Mr. Malloy?
It's dark and gloomy in the detention room.
But I remember Mr. Higgins being down here. One of the math teachers was down here.
Cafeteria. Okay. I remember walking down this hallway.
I do too.
Yep, coming in. I think my friend Tammy lost her retainer in the garbage because she left it on her tray and accidentally threw it away.
I would really like to I think mine was like down here somewhere.
You would have been A's and B's.
A's and B's were there, yeah.
Somebody in between me, it was me, the senior girl, and then people were.
Yeah. I do recall, I think this
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
I feel the vibe.
It's to me.
Some of this,
On behalf of Hill, I recall my combination.
you're going to wake up in the middle of the night and be like,
No, one of my numbers was 24.
wow.
It was, I would always land on 25, and it would be so frustrating. It's like 24, you had to be like really exact.
I don't remember any of my notes. Any of mine.
If you had 25,
Okay, there was the smoking area over there. Oh, it's raining. Dang it. The smoking area, and we'd go out here to go across to the swimming pool, and there was a bench right over there, and that's where they would smoke. Yes. I remember running out there to run across in the wintertime for swimming. And you'd get out and your hair would freeze. The lower gym.
were you a swimmer?
I was, last year. And
Heather, I remember one time in gym. Remember how they used to let us wear sweatshirts over our red PE t-shirt? Well, we always had to have the red t-shirt on. Well, I forgot it at home. And one of the gym teachers came over and asked me if I had it on. And I go, oh, yeah, it's under my sweatshirt. And she's like, let me see. And I didn't have it, so I got an F for the day, and I had to go sit on the bench.
So am I.
Okay, so once upon a time, this was the girls' gym. So, couple things that I didn't know, but I will share with you. I always wondered why there was a door to nowhere. There's a door there, and there's a door there.
Oh, I never knew.
Why a door to nowhere? When I got into the archives, I found a picture, and if we can get into the library, I'll show you. This originally, when this was a gym, this had a running track around the top.
Oh, wow.
So when the school was built in 1916, there's a picture up there. There's a track with a railway going around the top. So that's kind of cool. So you can see, again, our alumni, Sean Livingston, through his generosity, converted this into a weight room. It is used by all sports. It is mainly basketball, football, but the girls do use it as well. You do have to share, so you'll notice it's pretty much set up for anyone for the guys. The locker room is still back there.
Is it still the girls' locker room?
It's still girls' locker room. And then there's actually offices that way we won't be able to get to that come out upstairs. It is. Especially freshmen.
Where we would be herded out after the girls' locker room, which we would never get in the showers. None of us wanted to get in the showers. And we would come out here and we would wait right by this door for the bell to ring. And you did feel like a cow being herded.
He was my teacher after Hasselhoff. But I had Hasselhoff before.
Oh, it is raining.
No, boy. Raining.
I remember going to the pool.
Yes.
It had actually dismantled them because that's what teenagers do. Yeah. And they set off the alarm there. The lifts, you put in lifts there and up to the fourth floor. And then within a year, we had dismantled. Hey.
Yeah.
The building is actually empty. They didn't renew the contract with it, and we're not even sure. There's discussion right now about some people want to try to buy it, but yeah,
Is there
Peoria
sharks
High
in the
doesn't
water?
have.
Is there sharks in the water?
I don't know if there's
That's
any
another
water in
reason
there.
why all these generations are soft. They didn't have to do swimming like
And
Right.
not only did I have swimming, I was lucky enough to have first star swimming 3 years.
The cafeteria. Yay, time to get my honey bun.
This the cafeteria.
Well, you're not gonna get honey bun.
Oh, no honey bun?
Man, I would love to have me a square pizza right now.
Some chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk and
Oh,
a
man.
Suzy Q. Got another stack.
Oh, yeah, right down there.
Now you know why we have to have the second.
Oh, this is tiny. Tiny.
I've had bean lunch for 29 years.
Four towers, A, B, and C.
Boo.
Yeah, hostess.
That part was down there.
I was here at 1.2. This was like hostess.
I got my Suzy Q and chocolate milk down there.
And then there's nothing else down here.
Yep, and all these.
Fire hazard now.
So we still have that. But the only thing that still exists is ranch. We still have 4 containers of ranch out at lunch to be doused on everything. Ranch rules forever.
That's a luxury.
So a couple things have changed. That's like the burger line. This is taqueria. So you get something taco-y. But then that's pretty much it. I know one of the things when I came back, I was disappointed, and they're actually talking about bringing it back. Do you remember Tuesday, Thursdays? One was a baked potato bar.
Yes.
And then one was a salad bar. They're actually talking about bringing those back.
Okay.
They do have like prepackaged salads, but usually halfway through B lunch, they're gone. So if you are a C lunch eater, you're not getting it. You will be happy to know that nutritionally, ketchup is a vegetable. Just letting you know. So if your kids don't eat vegetables, if you give them ketchup with fries, that counts.
But isn't tomato a fruit?
Yeah.
Must take a fruit or vegetable.
They don't have
No square pizza either. I tell you what, these kids are missing out. Wow.
Sure, I mean, you may not have even noticed it while you were here, or paid much attention to it.
I did notice
But it
it.
is by a guy named Rod Guthrie, and he's class of 56. He started painting it in 55. We found some pictures of him and some of the crests painting this. And I almost kind of think it goes with the 4 freedoms. It kind of almost resembles that a little bit about food being part of the 4 freedoms. But anyway, Rod Guthrie was kind of a quiet guy. He played football, did a lot of stuff here at Peoria High. And he leaves here and he goes on. How many of you had Lionel trains growing up? The guys, how many girls? Okay, anyway. He went on to be a quote unquote engineer, i.e. designing Lionel trains. So you probably had some of those in your hot little hands under the tree at Christmas. But really, really well rounded guy. He really went out and did some great stuff. And Lionel train thing I really didn't know anything about, and I started looking him up, and he was all over the place with that company for years. But again, another alumni went out there and done good, but he took this on just to paint. You know, he just wanted to paint. And he played ball and did sports, but he really liked to paint. So you could tell he had that style. So when he was designing trains or whatever, that's probably where all that came from.
And he mentioned the Four Freedoms. The Four Freedoms originally were in the stairwells. Before us, the stairwells were actually in the center of the building. So those offices were like the treasurer's office, those were actually the original stairwells. So these corner stairs didn't exist when the school was first built. Then they moved to the study hall. So there were 4 large paintings that hung on the study hall. When we got rid of the study hall, those were actually given to the Peoria Library for the archives. So they are actually in protection. And when we go to the library, I'll point out one of the things we are struggling with is student work. You may remember when we were students here, there was a lot of student artwork that hung in various classrooms. It ages. There's a couple paintings up there that are on cardboard. Well, as it gets damp and things happen, so that's one of the things the archives are trying to kind of figure out how to preserve some of that.
In Rockwell, leading into
The
World
Four
War II.
Freedoms.
And he did that to like raise money, bonds, you know, for the war effort. Well, we had a guy that his son went to school here. There's an article out on the website, our website, that I did. I can't remember the guy's name now, but his dad was a Bradley professor, and he actually painted his own version of the Four Freedoms, and he used them downtown when they had a bonds gathering parade, whatever, you know, to sell bonds for the war for World War II. Well, after that was over with, he donated them to the school, and that's when Tracy said they're hanging in the stairwells back then. Then they had hung in the study hall for a little while. You remember there were some giant paintings
Yes.
up there, and that was the Four Freedoms. And they're actually at the Peoria Riverfront Museum, and they're in storage there because they're trying to get a grant to restore those for America 250. But anyway, little background on that. I wish I could find the flag for the old Carson Perry Scott. It was block and cool way back when there used to be a flag they put out. It was a 48 star. Obviously, we didn't have Alaska and Hawaii, but it covered the whole side of the building. Have you guys seen that picture before? Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know where they did it, and I don't know how heavy it was, but I would not want to be the guy trying to put that thing out over the side. It would kill you if it got loose. So, but anyway, there was so much history that was coming out of the city that was actually making its way into this building, because we were really, literally early on in the early century, 1900s, we were one of the only high schools. Manual showed up later, but Peoria High School it's got, most of the streets are named after Peoria High alumni in this town, downtown. And so anyway, that's a little history on the Four Freedoms. If you ever go out east or go to the Rockwell Museum, I can't remember what that is anymore, but when you go to it, it's absolutely incredible. And they actually have the Four Freedoms hanging in there. So the real ones.
Go upstairs, turn left, go in Nelson's class. Turn right, go.
Where was?
What was this? Oh, the shop classes used to be back here.
This used to like the duck here. Remember when we had auto shop?
I've never been back
This
here
was the
before.
walkway, and that's where the auto shop was.
When you were a freshman, they used to warn you, don't buy a
This was the auto shop.
elevator pass from any senior. And I did just see an elevator door, so I heard there were no elevators, and that was the joke. Ooh, it's chilly in here. That's cool looking. Neat. Woo, we're getting a workout today. We're 57, 58 years old. These steps are getting a little more difficult.
It's going down. Wait till you
Yes.
go up.
Oh, my knees.
This is actually what we call the complex gym.
No.
Put my autograph out of here, put the stands in here, come on.
Well, in between that, it was offices. They shut it for a while in the district. Also where we do class meetings, some dances, because there's an exit right there in the parking lot, that way the kids don't have to come into the building. So you know how we had like a lot of our dances in the foyer? Because that way they can just come in, they don't have to go to the building, there's bathrooms there. This is also girls basketball, volleyball, and then you passed it, but you can see there's windows up there, wrestling is upstairs.
Time we
This is also where we take the ACC.
6.
250 kids down here and 300 upstairs. Let's test everybody. And then upstairs we do AP testing like 2 weeks afterwards. So if you're a junior, you get to test for pretty much a month straight.
Here you had to do that endurance testing.
Yes.
So you had to hang from the bar, and they're like, oh, we don't have to do that now. We also have the trampoline.
Yeah. Trampoline up on the stage. Your safety was another kid going. It's like, what were adults thinking?
I remember
any of us survived.
And now you know you're officially old when you can tell the same stories as your parents.
The other thing you can do if you really want to freak teenagers out, tell them you're older than the internet.
Yeah. We didn't have the internet. That's why I really want to go to the library.
Internet was in the infancy when we started. Remember the term syntax error?
There was a driveway there with a garage door, there was an auto shop.
Yeah, auto shop was right there.
There was a wood shop, there was a metal shop, that was all.
Teachers used to bring their cars to get work done by the students.
Oh, okay, they got
But that's one of the things we're talking about. When the district got rid of that, they sold all that equipment. So all that equipment's gone. But we are seeing a need. I mean, I teach half senior basic all day. Half of my kids don't want to go to college. They're like, school is not for me. I hate school. I can't wait to be done.
These days, you don't need it.
No.
But then here's someone I needed to connect with when I was at Epic, because there is a huge need, because as coming out of school, DSPs do not require anything but a high school diploma at 18 years old. And at Epic, they can start out making $20 an hour right out of high school.
Yeah. I remember in high school, you know, I was in the football.
Alright.
Jeanette, I'm watching you, you better not fall.
I'm
I know, right?
trying to focus. I'm doing 2 things at once.
This is where.
Right on the other side.
Yeah. Teacher looked down.
That's where Freddy Krueger is, you guys. Freddy Krueger down there.
This is where it was at.
That's where Reggie used to go smoke on.
This is where it happened. This is where that incident happened.
Yeah, I figured.
Go to my machine shop, son.
That wasn't an incident.
Now that's a cool.
That's cool. I like that. Van Gogh.
That's nice.
Lurie's room got changed. Damn. I took Alan Lurie's room. He changed.
Well, there was also once upon a time, that was a wall. Yes. And there was a door that went into a great big art room. And then the back of it was a storage that they could open the door and film out for football. There was like a door that if you'd have fallen, you'd have fallen too. But they had like a big. Well, when we graduated in 1986, there was no art wing left.
No.
No. Yeah. But I think that room was there because the kiln is there, and I know they haven't moved that kiln. So that might have been ceramics.
My deck.
So there's a lot of sports memorabilia. Early pictures about the building. There's pictures in the
It's kind of
early
become
buildings.
a little catch-all. You guys know the hanging clocks over there. We kind of grab
Building where I-74 was, and they then converted that into a kind of a recreation. It had food, so there's a drawing of that. Some of the cases have the old pictures of the buildings. He mentioned this was the old ticket booth that used to be in the hallway. So there's pictures, the floor when they remodeled last year, that's where a lot of this stuff is. Sorry, they haven't processed it. So careful, don't knock anything over. But the cases have pictures of athletes. We also rescued one of the old clocks from the third floor. The kids, being teenage boys, love to jump up and hit things. So they kept knocking it off, so they just put them out. I don't know why when you're 14 you have to jump up and hit it. I think it's just a biological.
Hell, we did that too.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's just that when you turn 14, male biology says jump and hit, jump and hit.
Oh my gosh, band uniform.
Were you in band?
No, but I,
Remember it?
yeah, that cool.
Oh, Bill, did you see what that picture is of? That's the state speech team that was on the second floor. I wonder if the trophy's there too.
There was a bigger one that was up, as I remember.
Was that?
That was.
Somewhere in that. Yeah, sorry. I know there's sports behind there too, but you probably can't.
All right, Bill,
See it.
I'm taking that sign home with me. That's got Central on it. The hell with that PHS shit. And I want my
Diplomas, how they've changed. Yeah, can you imagine going on stage trying to accept something that big?
They said they came up with that name because you said you went to Peoria High School, well, there were 4. So they came up with Central to help.
Delineate who
Right.
is who.
Library. Ooh.
Term on the back. I can't get to them.
You can't see
All
got
of us
one?
huddled around the card catalog going, don't take my book, don't take my book. I know.
She was not. She'll remember her.
Ooh, stuffy.
Librarian.
Miss Maybe.
Yeah.
And Miss Brompton.
Do you know librarian? No. See, that's all we have.
Did they? I remember Jimmy Edwards worked in the library. I remember him. I don't know if he was in our class. Huh. Oh.
This room is now the archive room. So this is where we store old yearbooks.
They got bean bags.
Back there were the cards, the magazines.
We didn't have no bean bags.
I think last year she sold 50. Because kids, again, when you're 18, you go, why do I want this? If I wasn't in anything, so he's turning on the lights. So if you need yearbooks, and we also, if you go online, I told you about Miss Hanson and the TV production, because this is the 150th year? 170th. I don't remember. Sorry, I'm having a moment. She made a commemorative Christmas ornament. So it's actually a metal engraving of the front of the school, and they're selling it for $25. And it's a fundraiser. We had 2 students that tragically died while they were students here recently. One was Tommy Forrest. I don't know if anybody knows that name. He was killed in a shooting. It made the news. There were a group of teenagers that went to play video games at someone's house, and mistakenly someone broke in and shot the kids. And he died. He was a freshman at the time. And then we have the Darnell Hunter Fund. That one also made news. He was a student here who tragically passed away, and his father was arrested for basically starving him to death.
Oh.
So the students participate in various fundraisers, and then we use their names and give scholarships in those names. So we have that. He wasn't able to get into here, but this room is where we store historical information. I said I had those pictures of the old gym. We've got the the football from the old Turkey Day games. We found pictures of that. We recently found a picture, but we haven't been able to find the trophy, of John Philip Sousa, the real John Philip Sousa, came to Peoria and gave the Peoria High Band a Sylvan Sterling Cup.
Oh, wow.
Back in, do you remember the date on that? I don't remember.
It was in the 20s.
Yeah. So we found a newspaper clipping of the picture. So we've been searching the school trying to see if the cup still exists, but we have not been able to find it. So little clippings like that, but you can imagine this is full of paper. We have portraits. We have portraits of Max Mills, Whitaker, Betty Friedan. We have pictures in there. We also have Joe Gruhl when she retired. Many people don't know she was actually a trained archivist. So she began pulling clippings and sorting them and pictures. She's got everything labeled, everything in special archive paper, archive envelopes, and she's created this room full of file cabinets of documentation.
She was an amazing seamstress.
She was.
She did all the costumes for Peoria Players for years.
So we do have that. I would have been happy to show you, but like I said, he didn't turn it on. You will notice the library has changed. So my last little spiel here. This just got redone again 2 years ago. We got all new furniture. So the tables that we had finally just left. So, and they're actually in some of the art rooms because those things are so sturdy. I don't think you can destroy them. So,
I could.
but they have changed over. You will obviously notice we've got computers now, a lot more computers. They are updating the books, so the books look a little sparse. They've been trying to kind of take some of the really old stuff because school changes. And as a teacher comes in, when we were here, our research papers, I don't know if any of you had Baker, we had the Day You Were Born project. Yep. Remember that? You had to look up everything and you had to get the microfiche and look it up. We don't do those kinds. So now they might do a different kind of paper. So as that teacher leaves or retires, they kind of get rid of those and they bring in stuff. We don't really do a big research paper like we did back then. So they've kind of gotten rid of some of those books and they've tried to expand the fiction. They've tried to have more computers and more technology. There's a TV there, there's a TV there. So you can come in and do various media clips. No.
Guiding light.
We don't get very good reception. So any last minute questions
What's
before
the biggest thing missing out of this room?
Books.
That's true.
Card
There's
catalog.
the card catalog.
Oh,
Right in the middle.
Yep.
Well, and we also had a square of reference. My favorite thing, because I worked here too, if you did remember, if you were in here first hour, one of your jobs was to take the wooden rack
With the newspapers.
with the newspapers. It had the
And
stick,
it had a stick.
and you had to
and
put each sheet
and you had
on,
to
and then
carry
put the rubber
newspaper
band.
to your table on a great big stick.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing this for us.
Yes.
Just so you know about this room, I mean, we all spent a little time in here, right? The windows were bigger back, they were wider, they went all the way across. You can kind of see where they were.
And they opened.
And architecturally, I didn't know this until 5 years ago. There's a stained glass skylight above this. And it was beautiful, I guess. I'm looking for pictures of it. Trying to
I
find
haven't been
it.
able to find any. I looked
Yeah.
for it when I did the library.
Apparently when they covered it up, obviously for certain reasons, people were probably going to try to break
It started
or whatever.
leaking was the issue.
But-
and the district wouldn't
But
pay
anyway,
for it.
the history of the thing, it's been the library forever, and it was actually a very beautiful room. And so you can see it's kind of keeping it okay and everything. But as I said, if you need a yearbook, I can get to those, and then we back there. But the rest of it's locked up. Pretty amazing though. Some of the
Yes, that'd
things
be
we
great.
have. Anybody got any questions for me at all?
Yes, how many ghost stories do you have? Sightings? There's gotta be a lot.
She wrote a couple articles on that where somebody was either killed, a janitor was killed or found dead. And,
Sorry, I had a tree come down on my house.
another
And
one.
I just got power back last night, so I've had 24 hours no power. So I was lucky one of those.
Hey Tracy, how many ghost stories do we have of Peoria?
I know a couple. And first of all, before I went to this actually wasn't the original library.
Oh, was
The original library was the little office over there, and there was 30 books. I found the original inventory, 5 Bibles. So they expanded. So 2 ghost stories I know. One was not from this building, it's from the original building. Originally, the school was everything, was the whole district. And back then, people didn't write checks. Everything was cash. You got a cash at the end of the week, you got a cash in like a little envelope. So some robbers broke into the school to get the safe, and they made one of the custodians open the safe, and they slit his throat and let him bleed out there. So his ghost supposedly haunted that building. And then in
You know
this
what- you know
building,
what year that was?
it's in one of the articles online, but I don't remember off the top of my head. It was old, like 1902, 1904. It was. And then who remembers the ghost? Because I know when I was a student here in the 87, it was still a rumor. Nobody remembers Max?
No. Max?
Max. So no, we were always told he had died, but he actually passed away at home. They thought he had the flu, and he had a massive heart attack and passed away. But we had always been told when we were students here that Max's ghost, and mainly it was because of air pressure. You'd be, especially the choir rooms on the 4th floor, you'd be sitting in choir and the door would open and then just close, and people would be like, oh, it's just Max checking on you. But now that doesn't work because we don't have it. And I tried telling a couple of my students the story of Max, and all they did was freak out because kids today believe in ghosts. So that's another way if you want to scare a teenager, they actually totally buy into that. So I don't
Yeah,
recommend
that's
it.
how you keep.
I got in trouble.
That's how you get in trouble.
That's how I got in trouble.
Yeah, well, that's also how you keep them in line.
Just so many stories. Bye, Reggie.
Thank you.
Bye, Reggie. See you tonight.
What about you, Crystal?
Oh, I do. I tell
Yeah.
the same one all the time. Where's Renee at? There she is. Okay, I graduated, you all went to grade school together at different grade schools throughout Peoria. I graduated from Deer Creek. We had 12 kids in our graduating class. I started here the last 6 weeks of my freshman year is when I started here. And I was terrified. I'd never seen a school so big, so many floors. I never thought I was going to make it home the first day. And in the first week of school, there was a fist fight down outside the home ec rooms. And I witnessed it, and it was 2 girls. It wasn't even 2 boys, it was 2 girls. And the one was bleeding. That's how bad the fight was. I was terrified. And my next class was either typing, because I had it with you, not with you, with Renee. And I must have been trembling, or I must have looked terrified, because she asked me if I was okay. And she said, if you have any problems ever in this school, you come and get me. And from that day on, I just breathed because I knew someone had my back, and it was her.
Oh, yay. That's nice.
Yep. That's always my favorite story to tell about Central.
Thank you all for coming. I hope you found this informational. Like Bill said, I hope you check out the website. He tries to put out stuff. We're always writing articles. So I'm always looking for names or alumni, and you can reach out to the alumni.
Richard Pryor used to go to school here.
He did. He did not graduate from here, but he did attend school here.
Yes. And he had Alan Lurie for a teacher.
Yep.
Didn't know that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good info.
Thank you much.
Yay.
I know it's a little warm in
Yay.
here.
Yes. Thanks.
See you tonight.
See ya.
All right, see you tonight.
Bye.
That's why.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Snap time.
You come to that in high school.
Yeah, my sister.
See you tonight, Heather. I'll see you tonight. I thought they were bigger lions, weren't they?
The same lion.
I don't think so.
No. He looks a little plain. I
Yeah.
remember for whatever reason, I remember teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, they were more ferocious. I don't know.
All right, ready to go to
I'm gonna walk around. Feel like the Breakfast Club coming out of the school. Bye. Okay, I'm going to do an audio voiceover here because my mic wasn't hooked up when I left the tour. Now I'm just doing a drive around of the school, and I was hoping to get to both of the back parking lots. I'm on the side of the building, going back by the football field. I remember going to a game once or twice there, but also at Peoria Stadium. I remember a big group of us singing a Fix song. Todd Green was there, I remember that. He kind of looked like the singer of the Fix, Cy Kernan. Now I'm going back around to the rear of the high school, and this is the entrance that I would always take on my way driving down Sheridan. and I'd pull up this hill that's off to the right here at this intersection at Richmond in my 1974 Camaro. And I would pull up the hill and turn to the right and then go to the left into the parking lot. 2 parking lots, one on each side of the school. And looking at that track going around the football field, that brings back memories, not such good memories, because PE class, we had to do this test one time to see how many minutes we could run, and we would get a grade based on that. So if you could run for 20 minutes, you got an A, 15 minutes a B, 10 minutes a C, and I was very lucky to get a C that day. Now I just went over the overpass over Interstate 74, did a loop around, and I'm coming back over the interstate and going to the other side of the school to see if I can get to the other parking lot. There's a sign right there that says that Peoria High School was established in 1856. So this would have been where the science wing was to my right. And the gate is also closed and locked to this parking lot, so I can't get back there either. But I do remember I got into a car wreck in this parking lot right around this corner. There was a blind spot. I was going one way and a young man was coming the other way, and crash on my lunch period, so I was late getting back to math class. And I believe it was his fault. I don't remember who it was, but he was not in my class. I was a senior, so he was a bit younger. And I believe the math teacher at that time was Mrs. McCann. Such a sweet teacher. All right, that concludes the video for today. It was a very enjoyable tour. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you at the next class reunion. Woo, Heather. Go, Reggie. Reggie. Go, Reggie. Reggie.
That's not me, that's Reggie.
Oh man, that's great.
Hang on, that was a bad bird. Bad bird.
I like that song. Let's keep that one going. Ordinary God, burning down the house. I like that.